Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy ShinBlade back with another video. This time we're gonna be doing a review on the MainManSWE video on Steve. He says he thinks he is ruined. We're gonna do a little review on it, and I'm gonna show some pointers on if we disagree with him. Like I said, he's a very good dude. Everyone knows who the main man is. No introduction needed. Like I said, I like him. I've been in the chat sometimes momentarily, but like I said, I believe this title on Steve being ruined mainly comes from, I think, FeedX been tweeting. My biggest issue about it is I really don't care about other people's opinions. It's your opinion. You know, you're entitled to it. But I believe if you have a big platform, you need to understand that you do sway people's opinions on something that they don't agree with. But since you agree or have any statement on it, they're gonna go with it. Like I said, I think Feed Points was wrong about Steve. I think Steve still has his identity, and like he's better than what he was before. You gotta play him a certain way. Like, if you just go through a move set and just don't know why or when to use stuff like this, I believe you are confused by it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Here out with the main man video. I'm gonna do a live reaction on it. The title of the video is Steve Fox, a great character ruined. And like I said, I do understand that FeedX been complaining about him, and of course I seen even Maximilian last night at work talking about like FeedX character, which is with Steve Fox now. He's upset. So and I'm pretty sure this is why the main man is touched on it too, because Maximilian is one of the biggest you know, gaming streamers out there. So they're not gonna go against the grain. But I said, Steve Fox players are gonna look at this video and see if they're making points, which I already know they're really not, because I think Steve is fine. He still got his identity. Let's give it a little watch.
Penalize the player for not going into Lionheart. Stress dumb heat strings that are basically the equivalent of heat smash. Opponent can just block, there's nothing you can do really. And then heat smash, which is homing, just block, 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 and here take the mix up. If you duck, you die. As a hardcore Tekken fan, I'm just like, what are you guys doing to some of these characters?
Is that just Steve Fox though? It is almost every character. Let's keep watching.
Here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. I'm gonna do a video on Steve today. I'm just gonna say straight away, apologies on my voice. I've been a little bit sick the last week or so, and I'm slowly getting better, but my voice is not what it should be, so sorry about that. There's been quite a few casualties with the Season 2 patch, like ruining characters. You could argue Lee got it the worst, but Steve...
Again, y'all. How can you argue Lee got the worst? Lee is good to go. That's how you know the echo chamber is so real that people don't even know. Like I said, I like main man. I understand he's busy. I'm busy too. Everyone's busy, but I'm not trying to say stuff that I don't know a fact on. Lee did not get it the worst. Lee is fucking awesome right now. I don't know who was the Lee player that said this. It wasn't Baldhead. You know what I'm saying? Who said it? Because Lee is extremely good on this patch. So his argument is just with the people, like with the online, the people that's talking, like he did not pick up Lee and see for himself. The same thing with this video about Steve Fox.
In my opinion, is also one of the biggest tragedies of the patch.
The biggest tragedy.
And it's funny because he is a stronger character now. But still, they did a shit job. And why is that? I feel like he deserved buffs, but what they did was this unforgivable mistake of making one of the characters with the most nuance, depth, complexity in a good way. highly strategic character that can do a lot of different things.
He still can.
Nuance.
SteveFox can still be very different. You guys watch me play. With the Lionheart stance, after ducking forward 2, that's the only real difference. He goes into he goes to Lionheart stance after ducking forward 2, but like I said, that makes it better combos for us. Like, hold on.
Depth from the character. And instead, they are insisting that, no, you should play Steve the way we want to play him. And it should be now more about forcing 50-50s from Lionheart, his new stance. They did a few good things on launch, but they are reverting those things. And they're doubling down on the worst things imaginable. It's like he didn't have a standing launcher. He couldn't block punish something that's highly minus and then launch.
Yes, you could. You just had to be extremely good at inputting a peekaboo stance, because Steve has a very good. It's the elbow 16. It's peekaboo down for 2. I think it's 16, right? If you was a sweat, you could get that off. But like I said, how many sweats are there? That's the problem. It's not that many sweats.
Could in Tekken 7 with back 2 for limited damage. And what did they do? They gave him this. So this, typically he DPs from peekaboo, but now he can do it from neutral state by just pressing up 2. And you get an evasive 17 frame launcher that is still launch punishable on block, but immediately you go, oh no, so we are back to a Steve now that, granted it's not a 15 frame launcher, but still, I thought it was...
it's only for the whiff, which who all has that in them to whiff punch with it. It's people with SteveFox that's not even whiff punch with Sonic Fang. So we're still not going to see this, the up-2. You're going to see the up-2 from some high-level players, but you know me, I'm good with my flicker launcher. But like I said, people are not going to... You're not going to see a lot of people using the up-2 as well.
Interesting that he couldn't launch you. So now we're back to Tekken 7 in this regard, and then some.
Okay, so he did mention that up-2 is also like 10 damage less than a peekaboo up-2. Like I said, he's just going over it. Like I said, he doing it quick. Like I said, he don't play Steve, so I don't knock him for it. But up-2 is way weaker than doing the peekaboo up-2 by like 10 points.
Because the Tekken 7 back 2, not as good as this move. This move gives significantly more damage. And of course you could talk evasion, right? But Steve...
Wait, what you say?
Because the Tekken 7 back 2, not as good as this move. This move gives significantly more damage. And of course you could talk evasion, right? But Steve is very slippery in Tekken 8 in general. And down back 3-2 again goes into Lionheart. Down back 3-2 in Tekken 7, knockdown into a guaranteed Albatross low. And this got really obnoxious at the wall, where he would knock you down with that, take a guaranteed knockdown low, like this, and then he'd keep looping you. So he had sort of a vortex. So...
Hold on, wait. They're not understanding. She's not going over it. You don't have to go into Lionheart after the stomp. You can hold back to counter the Lionheart. And also in Tekken 8, and I showed you in my previous video, after the stomp into a mix up in Lionheart is actually worse again knocked down in Tekken 7. It wasn't a real vortex, because after the free low, see, he's not going see, as a non-SteveFox player, he don't know, and that's okay. After the stump on the wall, you went off to an angle where you got a chance to get up. It was not a vortex. The vortex was trying to rocket launch you. And once you committed the stump and got the pickup, see, he didn't know about that. You can also get a pickup if you do the instant peekaboo down 1 count, so I rise 1. No one was doing that, so I'm not even gonna mention that. So it was only a few. I was one of the few doing the pickup after the stump, but now people got access to take. Remember, Newman CH taking 45% after the stump. The stump only gave you 20%, at most 20% of their life. You get 45 to 48% now off a stump mix up. Stump 1+2 and 2-2. That's 45%. It literally takes that much now. So the stump is more effective now than what it was then, in my opinion.
So it's sort of a vortex. So
the vortex is now. The vortex is the stump into the Lionheart. The vortex, definition of a vortex is to, after a move, you are left in a 50-50. After the stump on the wall, you was now left in a 50-50. You were left in a general, like, fighting game 50-50, like, I'm gonna do a lower mid, but it wasn't detrimental that you about to die. This vortex is way more effective than the 7 vortex. Like I said, I've gotten plenty of victories with this stump than my last stump. Like I said, after I stumped you and got my free damage, you got up, we right back in neutral. Now I stump you. Y'all, we just watched the match now. I stump you, you try to counter a 1+2 counter. I mean launcher. It's way more scarier now getting stumped now than it was back then. You got stumped like, oh snap, I got stumped. I'm about to get up anyway. Now you got stumped like, damn, I gotta guess my life. That's the difference.
Surprised with Tekken 8 Steve when they moved away from those things. Like no knockdown here, no standing launcher to block punish with. I was like, damn, that's good. But so what do they do with Season 2? They give him this launcher. And they put in Lionheart on attacks where I'm just like, how can you like remove such refined gameplay? The biggest crime in my opinion is Steve's peekaboo stance, where Steve players will chip like this at the opponent.
Can't find it.
Like so, Steve players will chip like this at the opponent. No?
Oh no, okay, he said so. He's saying that people would do that offense, as in peekaboo 1 down for 1-1, which is punishable by the way. He did the wrong one.
Steve players will chip like this at the opponent. Like so, try and open up someone's guard, right? But now, if you do down for 1-2 on block, you go into Lionheart. And this stance also has always had a Sabaki, where you press the 2 button, and he does a homing high, but safe on block. But if this catches any punches, there's a throw sequence, Sabaki, where he knocks you into the ground. And again, if this is blocked, Steve would just go back safely to stance. And then you would start working peekaboo again. So there was a lot of nuance in this. And now Steve players would check you in peekaboo, stress your guard, and then if you try to jab check him, he might do that Sabaki. And if you block it, he still goes back into peekaboo.
Wait, ain't that... Wait. Ain't that reverse? Wasn't that more noobish for me to be in peekaboo throwing out a, like again, counter hit, counter hit high, tracking, built-in Sabaki, safe, and right back to peekaboo. Now, if you commit to something on that level, you go into a stance because you're going for something like that damaging. That's a nerf to us, but I agree with the nerf because I think that was a little bit too powerful to have to keep on checking on with that peekaboo too. Like I said, I'm okay with the nerf, but I don't think he knows that peekaboo 2 it still has a built-in counter. He's saying like it's gone. The move is still the same. It's just not a launcher no more. Because we got traded out for the Lionheart 1 wall stick. We can't be that OP. So the people complain about the Lionheart 1 not wall stick, and now it's wall sticking for I don't know why. But they had to get rid of something. They had to get rid of the peekaboo too. Now how will agree with that? Like I said, I'm a Steve player, so I understand why nerfs. He's not a Steve player. He don't understand. I don't think he's calling this. I think he missed the broke shit because that was broke.
Even on whiff, he will go into Lionheart. Even on whiff, he will go into Lionheart. So that nuance is just gone. So now if you take a Sabaki attempt, you're forced to go into this stance. And then one can talk about this type of pressure that I no longer can do either. Duck in.
Whoa. We just witnessed me. This is better pressure. Hold on, let's watch the whole thing.
Forward 2. You know, that's a move that would be really good on guard and chip.
Please.
And after he does it, you can cancel that into another duck, and he can keep the pressure up by canceling into something like this, or he does forward 2 into an instant forward 2 again. It's a mind game. Is he gonna do a mid? He's gonna check me with duck in 1. But now, same issue.
Wait, what did he say?
Forward 2 into an instant forward 2 again. It's a mind game.
No, it was not. What the see? That's what I'm talking about. It's better now. So in this video, we just did it today. So I'm gonna show you where when I played the Hahachi player, ducking forward 2 is a better mind game now than what it was for. That loop was so easily duckable, no one used it. Unless you like a super casual. If you got your cousins coming over, you don't know how to play Tekken. Oh yeah, you'll catch it with it. But no one caught that. No one caught the looping 2s. Now pushback, chip damage, and you could go for it again. We seen it work today. What he's talking about, it did not work. You could not loot them 2s like that effectively.
Is he gonna do a mid? He's gonna check me with duck in 1. But now,
oh my God,
same issue. Even on whiff, Lionheart. Charged up. Even on whiff, Lionheart.
You know, I'm supposed to.
I don't even understand what they are trying to do outside of. You should just go into Lionheart and force another. Is it a guard?
Oh. Well, I love man, y'all. I promise I do, but you make them block the ducking forward 2. They got an animation where they break, they move back, and then you can engage your Lionheart mix-up. So he really just said it means nothing. Oh my goodness.
Guard break?
Hey man.
Or is it a mid-homing safe heat engager? Just force that mix-up all the time. And to me, it's almost like the developers and game designers don't understand what made Steve so...
if you're a Steve player, you understand. This is what I'm talking about. They made this stuff for Steve players. If you don't understand, it's because you're not a Steve player. Oh my goodness. This is what I was talking about. Like, I can't make a video on King. I want to know what I'm talking about. I can only correct somebody, but I can't make a video if I don't play the characters I don't understand.
In the first place, to watch a Steve specialist play the character, and the mind games they would create with in these stances and situations. I don't even understand what the idea is outside of more guard break, more 50-50. A move like up back 2, which was an interesting attack. He would do this on block, and he would get like +3 on block, and he could choose to not go into Lionheart, which he can still do, by the way. Lionheart, he gets +5. If you chose to not go into Lionheart in Season 1, you were actually rewarded with +3. Now you get +1. If you chose to not go into Lionheart in Season 1, on normal hit like this, when you didn't go into Lionheart, like this, you would get a free Sonic Fang here. You got +14 where they couldn't block.
Okay. You gotta understand why I didn't complain about that, because now on up back 2 is chip damage now. Knocks back, forcing a mix up. We lost that. They'll be cheap to have that and steal this. So we don't got the up back 2 Sonic Fang no more. We still got the up back 2 1, which we are totally fine
Now you
with.
don't get anything. You have to go into Lionheart now to get something. So again, they're actively penalizing you for choosing for opting out of Lionheart.
It's not penalizing. It's called change. It's called change because they gave you something better to do.
And you're just sitting there like...
And let's be honest, I watched a lot of Steve players. They wasn't doing it. And that's me watching them. And like, even Newman it wasn't doing it. He does up back 2-1. You know what I'm saying? He don't even do the Newman don't even do the push after the clinch 1. He does back 1-2. So like I said, he's mentioned some stuff only a few Steve players do.
What are you guys doing? How do you buff Steve? Well, his heat was pretty interesting in Season 1. You would have to duck in throws, commit to that, or people would do like Sonic Fang into Heat Dash. It was quite limited. And then he had a Heat Smash that was like homing. But it's okay. Steve has a lot of tracking. I never felt he was that oppressive when he went into Heat. But of course, what do they do? So they gave Steve one of these amazing heat strings that we all love. That is...
A lot of you guys got, and we just got a boxing string. Like I said, we have a boxing string now.
For all intents and purposes, can't even be called a heat.
Brian had this shit. Brian could stagger his shit. Brian could stagger. He could do it like 4 goddamn times.
Attack. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is a heat.
Mind you, I'm okay with only doing it twice. Because it wall sticks. I'm okay with only twice. Maybe 1, 2 times for the charm, but it's fine. But it wall sticks, I'm okay with doing it twice. But
smash. But it's not treated as a heat smash. When you heat smash, you exit heat. Steve does this, and it is 40 damage natural.
Only 40 damage. I think Brian is way more damage than that. He can do it 4 times.
But of course, will wall splat. Does it unblock.
Extremely lenient as well.
Into flicker.
So he's not like...
Steve is plus 11.
He's not going over the deficiencies of the move. You can step that.
That's a heat smash. And here at plus 11, there's nothing you can do. Now he'll check you with flicker jabs, countered launchers, power crushes from flicker. You are not going to challenge Steve here. This also does, of course, a ton of chip damage. If Steve has recoverable health, it will heal a ton. And also, of course, due to the limited amount of...
He just said that's a lot of heat damage. It don't.
Limited amount of heat this takes, you find yourself in situations where he will just, at the wall, I've already been on the receiving end of this. You're just blocking. You're just like, if this...
You're blocking for 3 seconds. For both of them. You block it like you do in Tekken 8. You gotta block when someone does they heat anything on. I don't understand.
And then he can actually heat smash here as well, right?
We sit here fought Jan for a whole year. This is not even compared to Jan. It's Steve top 5. It's
and
questionable.
Then he goes into Lionheart,
some of the other good
8,
characters in the game as well. He's definitely in the top 10.
And they've made it so now that finally Lionheart 1 is
you know, you say finally because people been asking for it. Non-Steve players been asking for this move right here to wall splat.
Didn't use the wall splat.
That's why he said finally. That's crazy. None of us Steve players, the ones I know, did not want this. We did not want this. That's overpowered. But Gohan crazy.
Now it wall splats. Safe on block at -9, homing, heat engager. Basically, removing identity, removing nuance, removing like hardcore specialist strategy, doubling down on the worst aspects of the game on one of the coolest characters you've ever had in the game. One of your most sophisticated characters. You say more 50-50 gameplay, penalize the player for not going into Lionheart, stress dumb heat strings that are basically the equivalent of heat smash. Opponent can just block, there's nothing you can do really. And then heat smash, which is homing, just block, 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 and here take the mix up. If you duck, you die. Steve remains safe. You know, as a hardcore Tekken fan, I'm just like, what are you guys doing to some of these characters? On some of them, the changes you do, I don't like them, but I can sort of see where you're trying to go. But with these changes, and the Lee changes, for example, and the King changes, and the Clive changes, like there's quite a few characters we could mention. I don't even understand what motivates.
What? I understand what he said, but like some of the changes, like I said, it don't ruin the identity of the character. Like I said, and I understand that he didn't have no demonstration. Maybe someone showed him how to use the ducking forward 2. Now it's actually better than what it was. It's actually a lot of pressure. But I can see that he's not doing enough research. But I think if he does enough research, the main man could give a good point across. I just think like that demonstration right there was kind of, it wasn't researched enough. Like I said, he didn't give the main points. Back 1+2, we see me after the first flurry, they got options to get out. You can get out. If they go for flickers are highs. We seen people get out. Like I said, and that's not for a long time of being oppressed. Like I said, heat doesn't last all rounds. Steve can't get his heat meter back. So once he pop heat, like any other playing Tekken 8, you gotta look out for the move. Any character you playing against, now we have a move to scare our opponents. You know what I mean? Like how other, like Jen, when Jen got his heat, he got so much he could do to you. He could pop the heat, the wall stick you from fucking full stage. You know what I'm saying? And he got other moves. What is they 3-2 heat engager. He got the 4. He got demon paw. Like anybody else on the game. So I don't understand if you targeted one character. Doesn't take away that everyone else got the same kind of stuff in the game. Like I said, if you play it enough, you understand. I think MainMan plays a lot though. But I think it's like, I don't want to say the competition or who he's going against. But like I said, I just think he needed to do better research on breaking down the character on what they try to do with him, because I wasn't trying to be negative about anything. I was going to actually agree if it made sense. But the ducking forward 2, he didn't understand that. The back 1+2, he don't understand that you can literally inch to the side and Steve will literally miss in open field. Now, it's very good wall pressure. And the stomp mix up, like I said, I believe it's way better now. You take way more damage off your opponent. You could possibly kill him after the stomp. Like I said,
it's it. Other than, you know, ruining a game design legacy that with Steve has been, you know.
Now to say Steve is ruined, I think that's beyond reaching. Like, he still plays like Steve Fox. Even if you don't want to do the new stuff he got, you can still do the old stuff as well. You know what I'm saying?
Going on since 2001. Granted, Tekken 4 Steve was no work of art. He was, you know, interesting in concept, but in the end a piece of shit character. It actually took...
Steve was broke at Tekken 4. Okay, now okay, so it's just a lack of research, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna like. Who the hell wants to go look up that shit? You know what I'm saying? So I actually lived through the shit. Steve Lee Jin broke. He just said he was shit. He must got the wrong intel. Steve was broke in Tekken 4.
Until Tekken 5 DR for Steve to become the Steve we know. Since Tekken 5 DR, it's been a work of art. But now we gotta see this, and
Tekken 6, Steve was broke. It was no work of art there. It was the same shit. Steve used to fuck you up in Tekken 6.
Deserves better.
Tag 2, Steve was just mid. Steve was just mid in Tag 2. Tekken 7, broke. They had to nerf him in Season 3.
It's a cool character.
That was a good watch. Like I said, I love watching Main Man. But like I said, I knew this was going to be I wasn't looking forward to disagreeing to everything, but I did understand one fact that he like people the devs are trying to make the game easier for players, but that's what they said. So I don't understand people are questioning it when they literally said they're gonna make the game easier for casuals because that puts money in their pocket, and they don't want another dead Tekken game. So, like I said, the game can still be played at a high level, and as you can see, like anyone just can't pick it up and beat you. Like I said, but anyone that could put the time in could definitely give you a run for your money. But it's definitely a good watch. That concludes the Main Man review on Steve Fox. Like I said, we did cover a lot of stuff to debug him saying he's ruined. Only thing I do agree with Main Man is the Lionheart 1 was too much. Like I even said that previously when I saw some Steve Fox players demanding that to wall stick. Like, bro, that's too OP. And that's the reason why the Peekaboo 2 got nerfed, because you can't have all those options within his stances that's now convertible into the next stance. So that'd be overpowered. Like I said, is another example that it's okay to disagree with somebody. And like I said, I still love the man. I will continue to watch his videos and support his streaming any kind of way I can. Like I said, hope this was a lesson also to push this and don't hate or belittle or talk shit about someone that don't agree about you subject in a video game. You know what I'm saying? We can still go to drink together. We don't gotta like the same football team or we at the bar together. You know what I mean? Keep the peace, y'all. I'm gonna keep pushing that. See you guys in the next video. Peace.